Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we've got the next part of the Bancroft School Maths sample paper for 2022. So let's put our thinking caps back on and dive straight into these solutions. Okay, so for this next question, how many seconds are there from 11:45 a.m. until 12:10 p.m. on the same day? So first, let's work out the number of minutes between these two times. And then once we know the minutes, we simply convert it into seconds. So this question shouldn't be too hard, but we have to make sure we're careful and we don't make any silly mistakes. So to go from 11:45 to 12:10, the smartest way is to always break it up into pieces. Don't rush. So you have 11:45, then go to 12 noon, and then go from 12 noon to 12:10. So 11:45 to 12 noon, that's going to be 15 minutes. And then 12 to 12:10 is, of course, going to be 10 minutes. So overall, we have 25 minutes. Now let's use some understanding of conversion and a bit of ratios, actually. So we have minutes and we have seconds. We know that 1 minute is 60 seconds. So if we have 25 minutes, how many seconds is that going to be? Because of course we need to know the seconds, not minutes. Well, we simply use our understanding of ratios, that ratios must remain consistent. So if here to here, we're multiplying by 25, then to go from 60 to our mystery number, we're also going to multiply by 25. So the number of seconds is going to be 60 multiplied by 25. So 60 times 25, we can actually do this in our heads using mental maths. At first, we can do 6 times 25, and then whatever answer we get, we add a 0 to it. So what's 6 times 25? Well, we know 2 times 25 is 50. But then 6 times 25 is simply 3 lots of 2 times 25. So 50, 50, 50, which of course is going to be 150. 50, 100, 150. So if 6 times 25 is 150, then 60 times 25 is 150, add another 0. So 1,500 seconds. Okay, so for this question, we're told 25% of a number is 2.6. What is that number? So here, let's just use our basic understanding of percentages and just use a bit of ratio knowledge. So 25% is 2.6. So here we have percentage, and then we have number. Well, if 25% is 2.6, then we want to work out the full number, which is going to be 100%. Then we can think about it like this. Again, using our ratio understanding, to go from 25% to 100%, the full number, we multiply it by 4. So to go from 2.6 to the full number, we again are going to multiply by 4. So we have 2.6 times 4. Well, 2.6 is 2 and 0.6, so we can do mental maths here. 2 times 4 is 8. 0.6 times 4 is 2.4. So 8 plus 2.4 is going to give us 10.4. So 10.4 is our number. Now for part B, we have 1.5 here, 3 here, and we have to work out what's going to go here. So let's just see how many bounces or gaps there are. So to get from 1.5 to 3, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gaps. And if the difference between 1.5 and 3 is 1.5, right? 3 minus 1.5, then that means if there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gaps, each gap must be worth 0.3. 1.5 divided by 5. Right? And in that case, all we have to do is start at 1.5, add 0.3, and add 0.3 again. So the first bounce gives us 1.8. Second bounce gives us 2.1. And we can confirm this is correct because if we continue the bounces, we have 2.4, 2.7, and then of course 3. So our answer is 2.1. Okay, now here for part C, we have a very interesting question. And it's going to require some algebra. Because here we're told the sum of two numbers is 35 and their difference is 7. What are those two numbers? So we have to decode this text and we have to turn it into maths. So the first thing to turn into maths is this first part of the question. The sum of two numbers is 35. So let's say we have two numbers. Let's call them X and Y. Now, don't be afraid of the letters. It's just, we could use anything. We could say apples and bananas. We could say A and B. We could say anything. X and Y just represent normal numbers. It could be any numbers. It could be 10, it could be 5, it could be 2, it could be whatever. Just that for this question, we're going to call it X and Y. It helps us. So X plus Y, these two numbers we're talking about, equal 35. And then their difference is 7. How do we turn that into maths? Well, if their difference is 7, that means that the bigger number minus the smaller number should give us 7, right? Like when we say that the difference between 3 and 10 is 7, that's because 10, the bigger number, minus 3, the smaller number, equals 7. So let's say that X is the bigger number, okay? So let's say this one is the bigger number. What that means is that X, the bigger number, minus Y equals 7. Okay. Now we have to rearrange this equation. And all that means is we want to take out one of these variables. So we have X and Y. If we can get an equation all in terms of X, it will allow us to work out what X is, right? Let's take this equation here. If this equation only has X's and then numbers, we can rearrange that, we can muddle that up, and we can end up with X on one side and a number on the other side. And that's always what we want to end up with. So we're going to start here at the bottom. We're going to rearrange this equation. And for this particular equation, it's actually easier to rearrange and get X equals something. Because all we have to do that is add Y to both sides. We have our left-hand side and our right-hand side. If we add Y to our left-hand side, these two cancel out. And if we add Y to our right-hand side, we get 7 plus Y. Now we take this definition of X. We now know what X is. We take this definition of X and we plug it into X over here. So let's clean up this area. So we know X is 7 plus Y. So that means that instead of writing X plus Y equals 35, we can say that 7 plus Y, remember that's what X equals to, we just worked it out, 7 plus Y equals 35. And now we're in familiar territory. We can clean this up because Y plus Y is 2Y. Same way apple plus apple is 2 apples. Banana plus banana is 2 banana. Y plus Y is 2Y. So we have 2Y plus 7 equals 35. We can minus 7 from both sides because now we want to end up with Y equals. So Y on one side, number on the other side. So we can minus 7 from both sides. This gives us 2Y equals 35 minus 7, which is 28. Then we can divide both sides by 2. And this should leave us with 2Y divided by 2, which is simply Y. And then 28 divided by 2, which is 14. So Y is 14. Awesome. So y equals 14. But now we can work out what x is, because x plus y equals 35. And if y is 14, that means x plus 14 is 35. So we can minus 14 from both sides of the equation, and we have x equals 35 minus 14, which is going to be, well, 35 minus 10 is 25. 25 minus the extra 4 is 21. So x equals 21. And there we have it. The two numbers are 21, we'll put it in black, and 14. Using algebra, rearranging the equation, and using substitution. So you see, it's not that scary. Algebra, rearranging linear equations, substitution. We've just done it all right now. That's all it is. And here are our answers, 21 and 14. Okay, so that is all for today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you're the first to know when the next video is released. And on that note, I will see you all next time.